this wall. It's going to collapse. It is pretty shocking. I'm actually really surprised it's still staying up. This wall was an absolute disaster waiting to happen, and we needed to get it down quick. So get ready to watch us pull a massive team effort together with the guys at Blade Brickwork, and we're going to give you insights on how exactly we turn this complete death trap into this incredible wall that we've got in front of us now. There's also going to be plenty of other updates on exactly what we've been doing through the property, so stay tuned and enjoy the show. While the brickies were busy chipping away at this wall, Tony and the other guys had a very heavy job brewing. This massive lintel, it was an absolute nightmare and did not want to come down without a fight. So we're using our really trusty beam lift here. It's got us out of a lot of sticky situations, and it was the only choice really when taking this big bad boy down. After a lot of smashing around, drilling, kangooing, we finally managed to get the lintel to come through.
It was a little bit precarious, but it's down, and now we're just going to get it out of the way and get it on the deck and smash it into 1,000 pieces, so we've never got to deal with this again. It was up there and obviously needed to come down, so we're just getting it strapped up using our lovely beam lifts, and then we can get it gone, because this is a death trap. Finally defeated a lintel. It was an absolute nightmare and it weighed a ton, but it was a community effort. We all did, didn't we, Pete? Definitely wasn't Pete that smashed loads of it out. Definitely not, definitely not. It was actually a group effort. Thankfully that's it, it's out of the way, so we can carry on now. There's a bit of brickwork in here that needs to come down, and then we can start finally rebuilding everything. That is literally the last piece. Apart from some windows upstairs actually, we've just got to come out, and then that's it, we're good, we're golden, we can carry on bricking up and getting all this area sorted, stitch back together, and get rid of all this. We've got a few extra people on site now, so we're just going to start getting things moving really quickly. You can see the guys have been taking this wall down, doing a wicked job on that. The plan is to get this down by Friday, and then we've got another team of guys coming in who are basically going to dig the foot in for this and then start rebuilding it. Then we can carry on taking the rest of this wall down just here. It is pretty knackered, as you've probably seen, so it needs doing quick smart, because it is just a matter of time before it falls over. Slowly but surely and bit by bit, the wall was coming down nicely, apart from the buttress.
What do you reckon on that top little piece bit?
Yeah, if you could just try and flatten it a bit off, that's the trouble. As soon as it goes a bit slow, you get screwed. This wall's a nightmare. That concrete's really tough.
But with a bit of persistence and James's brute force, it was finally coming apart. You've seen us using this breaker attachment for the digger before, and it is an awesome bit of kit. You saw James smacking that with a sledgehammer, and if we were using that and just a normal little breaker, it would have taken forever, but this thing is an absolute beast and just tore through this buttress like it was a hot knife through butter. Finally we got it out. It was broken free, but it's still a massive lump of concrete that we've got to deal with. So we've got to get it smashed down into more manageable pieces.
Yet another bit of concrete, thanks to me and James. Obviously James, the unsung hero, defeated it. Literally, that would have stayed there for probably, I reckon, what, 1,000 years at least. Yeah, like the Roman roads had nothing on that. Whoever put that in, if you watch it, fair play, you did an amazing job. But you made our job real difficult. Tomorrow, we'll get all this on the flatbed, get it to the other site where we dump all the rubble, and that's it, we can carry on taking the wall down.
As we've been taking the wall down, we've been cleaning them up so that they're ready to lay again, so get all the bits of snot off them so they're nice and clean for the brickies to come in and use them. So we've got a pallet here, pallet there, and then as and when they need them, they can take them from here, and it's only local, so it's only just that wall there that they're rebuilding, so it's better than just say getting it in a massive pile and then having to deal with it afterwards. We're trying to just take a few courses off, clean them off, palletise them, carry on with the wall. That way you're not clogging up your workspace, and then you've got a nice way of doing it really. So that's what we've been doing, and it seems to be going pretty well, to be fair. So we've not got much to take down. We've just literally got 1, 2, 3 courses to take down now, so that should be down today.
So got the guys here from Blade Brickwork, and they are working on the retaining wall. So yesterday they made a good start on the footings. As you know from previous videos, this ground is absolutely rock solid. It's basically sandstone, and they're having to hand dig it all, unfortunately. This bit down here at least, because we can't get the machine down. We've got a retaining wall which is going to go across here and down here. We're then going to have some steps in this corner, and this is all going to be a patio area. So what we need to do is dig a footing down there to be able to take the wall up. So these lads are digging a 450 by 600mm footing across the back, because we've only got a very short wall effectively. And on this side here, we're going to be obviously carrying that all the way across. So this is a slightly deeper footing. We're going down 600 here, because this is going to take the wall which is going right the way up to here, and then it's going to carry on right the way through. If you remember from our previous disastrous video of the Victorian drain, that Victorian drain runs right through there. So we're having to be very mindful of that. We can only dig a certain distance that way and only come a certain distance down, and then the footing for the rest of the wall is going to have to go on the other side of it. So what we're going to need to do is span across with some lintels, some concrete lintels, just to make sure that there's no additional pressure and we're not disturbing that drain, because the last thing we want to do is go through what we went through before, because that wasn't very nice. Plus we're right at the boundary line, so it may cause us more issues. We're going to have to go in that way if we were to damage it. So that is what's going on here today. It's all go, 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 because tomorrow we've got a grab lorry coming to get rid of all the soil, and then we've got the concrete coming in the afternoon, so we need to make sure this is smashed out today. So let's get on with it, get it done. Right then, so while the guys are up there finishing out the dig out for the footings, I need to calculate the cubic square meterage of the concrete that's going to go in there. So I've just had RS Pumping on the phone to me saying what's it going to be, what's it going to be, so I need to now work this out. So simple way of doing this is basically working the area out, so it's length times depth times width, and that gives you the cubic meterage. So I've got a few different things to consider. We've got one footing that runs across here, one footing that runs across here. This one is 450mm deep, this one is 600mm deep, and they're both 600mm wide. So theoretically, going from that, because we've used a 600mm bucket, I should just be able to measure the overall length, and times that by my width and my depth. But what I am going to do, just to err on the side of caution, is actually throw a tape measure in there and measure it properly, do a quick bit of maths, and then I can let the pumping guys know exactly what we need. So that one is 6 meters long, so that's 6,000mm, and that is 2.1 meters long. So just to make it more simple, rather than going in millimeters, what I need to do is simplify it a little bit, and because we're trying to work out a meters cubed, so I'm doing 0.6 times 0.45, which gives me my width times my depth, and then I'm going to times that by 6, which was my overall length of this, which gives me a total of 1.62 cubic meters. 1.62 meters cubed. I've already measured this one, so I'm going to work this one out. So this one is 0.6 times 0.6, and then that is times 2.1. So we've got 0.6 times 0.6 equals that, times 2.1 equals 0.75. So equals 0.75 meters cubed. Then what I'm going to do is add those together. So plus 1.62 equals 2.3. So I'm going to round that up to 2.5 cube. So overall for this section here, I need 2.5 meters cubed. Easy as that. So now all I'm going to do is go measure the other footing up there, use exactly the same process, then add the two together, and that gives me my overall cubic meters that I need to tell the pumping guys ready for tomorrow's pour. So
That one is 6.7 metres, so 6.7 metres long, and then on average it's about 700 mil wide because of how it's actually been dug. So we're going to go times 0.7, we are 600 deep, so times 0.6. So I'm going to do the width times the depth, 0.7 times 0.6 equals that, and then times that by 6.7 equals, so that's 2.8 cube going in there. 2.8 plus 2.5, so that's 5.3 cube overall we need for this and that footing, and that is how you work that out. Hopefully tomorrow when they come, I haven't ordered short, it'll be fine.
So with all the footings dug and obviously my amazing calculations sorted, we're ready to get everything prepped for the first concrete pour. So the footings are all poured and it's now ready for the guys at Blade Brickwork to absolutely smash through this garden wall.
Yeah, so this morning we got out and there was a bit of brickwork up there that was unfinished, so we got on that first thing, we got them 2 course of bricks over that big lintel, and then we finished off patching this section in and got them few course over that little lintel. Then once we've done there, we got all the kit down, got all tidied up, and then we started this. Now there ain't a great deal of work been done because it's been a lot of setting out to get the range through from this wall right the way down to the back of the garden, because the walls are all kinked and twisted. We've had to create a new garden wall line, so we've had to like reset out a new wall, and then we're just tidying up, ready to start this section, which is down now. So again, not sure what's going on with this one. It will be a bit of setting out and a bit of tweaking. Then once we've done that, I think we're going to be dropping on the brickwork. So we'll get the brickwork in, and then down there, get the brickwork on that section.
I'm just going to talk you through what's been going on up here. So we've basically got 3 skins down here. We've got block work at the back and then a 9-inch wall at the front. The block work is going to stop here, at this point here, 2 courses below ground level. We've backed all this off with pea gravel, and like I mentioned before, we're basically going to drill some core holes through, right the way through to the back for drainage. The main reason this wall has failed previously is because there was nowhere for the water to escape. Obviously you can imagine there's a lot of groundwater which comes through and creates immense pressure against the back of this wall. So over time it's built up and built up and built up and just slowly but surely pushed the wall over. So what we're going to do to mitigate that in the future, like I say, we filled this fully with pea gravel, and then we're going to drill these holes all the way across the bottom, put some pipe through, and that's going to allow any water to seep down through the pea gravel and then find its way out through the holes in the bottom of the wall, which will stop this going over again. Obviously we wanted as wide a wall as possible, so we're going to finish the blocks here as this, and then we're going to build our 9-inch wall in front. But because this is a boundary wall, what we need to do is reinstate the original bricks on that side, and we're going to come up with the new bricks on this side. So the guys have had to work out how the gauge is going to work, because obviously we've got different size bricks on both skins, so it's going to be a bit of a nightmare for them, but they've managed to sort that out. And then once this is up, we'll then backfill this with soil across the top. You'll never know that the block was there. You're never going to see it anyway, because the next door neighbours have got a fence up in the way, so that's fine. But like I say, we're reinstating with the original bricks on that side, so if this fence ever does come down, it looks how it should have looked previously. We've got to get up to this height here. We're going to reinstate the original copings as well, so they'll build this up to here. 2 different skins, 2 different bricks on either side, and then the copings on top. Once they have finished that, they'll then move on to this. So we're just down here now. Yesterday we've been digging all this out, ready for the next footing. We had to do it in 2 sections. If you remember, there was a big buttress here, and this building here was ready to collapse. Well, this wall was ready to hinge out and collapse. So we basically stripped all this down to the buttress, broke the buttress out, which was an absolute nightmare. Again, whoever did that did not want it to come down. They did a very good job. So if you are watching, fair play, I'm impressed. Do you want a job? We've basically got to just dig the rest of this out now. There's going to be a small amount of shuttering. You can see there's a bit of a difference everywhere because this ground was all over the place. So we've had to run a line from sort of this point here right the way down there while this was all still built, just so we could get a nice straight wall, because the last thing we wanted to do was for it to kick over and back. So next door will possibly gain a little bit of, well, they will gain a small amount in their garden, but
it's what we had to do, unfortunately. We're still going to have probably more space in this garden anyway, just because of how out of plumb the wall was. If you remember before, it was probably a good foot out of plumb and it was ready to collapse, so we did need to get that done. The scaffolders have been well underway, stripping that central tower down. What that means now is that we can get our joists in on the ground floor, basement ceiling, get those in, and we can put a temporary floor down, then we're going to build our G-deck up inside. What they're also going to do is basically put the next lift in on the wraparound, and that is going to bridge over into next door's garden, because as the extension comes around and returns there, the brickies actually need to get to the brickwork on that side. So we've obviously, with the neighbours' consent, we're bridging over into their garden so we can return the wraparound scaffolding over to there. We're just going to go and get some soil moved now, get that out of the way, because we've got the last little bit out here, and we've finished our footing here. This is all dug out nicely, down to the level we need to be. We took a few datums, and myself and James have calculated the volume for that, so I've let the concrete guys know. Tomorrow they'll be here to get this poured, and then these guys, once they finish that section of wall, can drop onto this. We have had a consultation with next door, and they may want this outhouse here removing, so we're still waiting on a word about that. And then if that is the case, it does save us a little bit of extra work building that back up. We can just carry the wall straight through. So as the guys from Blade Brickwork carried on smashing through this wall, it was my chance to get inside and start installing the first joist of the extension. So we're working steel to steel here, so we've got just under a 2 metre span. We're going to use 7x2 timbers. We were going to use 7x3s, but because it's such a short span, we can get away with 7x2s in here easily. The reason we're using 7-inch timbers is to marry it with the existing ones. So we're going to make sure that our joists run in line with the top of the steel. Obviously we've done this just to match in with the rest of it, but these run through with the top of the steel. So we're going to make sure that these ones now run through with the top of the steel. And then underneath, you can see how Pete's done here. Pack this all out with ply. We need to pack that out just to bring it down level so that our ceiling line comes through nicely. We just got to make some templates now to run into here, so we know how to cut the ends of our joists. Once the templates are made and we're happy, we can then transfer that onto our timbers, get those cut, job's done. Then once we've got all our joists in, we can then put a temporary floor on top. So we're just going to use some shuttering ply on top of that, and then we can build this lovely G-deck up in here. The guys can then carry on with the block work internally. Then once we get up to the next floor up there where those joists are, just there, we're then going to run these joists across this way. So we are going to use 7x3 timbers up there, just because it's an extra span, and it will be a bathroom up there, even though the bath is actually going to be in that bit over there. It just carries extra load and it's a better job. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Let's crack on. Most of the joists are now in, just basically setting everything out for now to get all the joists cut. And then what we'll do then is go back across with all the noggins, get all the perimeter noggins, so noggins that go in the web of the steel, both sides like that, and also noggins through the centre. We're gonna have a look at the length and maybe work out plasterboard noggins, but we'll see about that. Also down that end over there, what we always like to do at the edge is leave a 50mm gap, so any services that need to come down can drop down and just come straight through. Obviously in this instance our wall's gonna come up and meet about there anyway, but just good practice. All we'll do is noggin out from the web of the steel into there just to hold everything in nicely, and then it just gives us a little bit of access should we ever need it. It's just always better to err on the side of caution and give yourself that little bit of extra wiggle room just in case you do need it. Here, because obviously we've got this weird angle going on with our extension, well, with the whole house at an angle, what we're going to do, this is the last one that can sit here like this. Phil's just cutting the long one, which is going to sit across this wall here, and then we're effectively going to have two jack joists, if you like. I don't know if they're called jack joists. Obviously it would be a jack rafter. Splay cut, splay joist, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what it is. So basically we're going to have a joist which runs across here, and then the next two joists which come in here are going to join onto that joist. James has just asked what this bit of stick's for. Basically, this is a centre point, so it's a 355 bit of stick, so it fits exactly in between our 400 centres. So we're using this bit of stick alongside here and alongside here, and when this piece matches, when it's at 90 degrees to this one and it matches it with that one, just like that, we mark a line, and we know then that when our next 400 piece comes in, that's the point at which it's going to meet at the longest point. So
So now what we need to do is measure from the webbing of the steel, slightly oversize it to about here. We can then sit the next joist on top like that, and then we can scribe a line underneath, and then that will give us the splay cut that we need to fit onto there, exactly as we've done back there. Right, so we've got our line here that shows you how to do. We're now using our famous bit of stick again to work out exactly where that goes. We've struck a line down from this point here because we know this point is this point here, so we know that's where that's going to sit in the steel, and then it's literally just laid up against it, so this outside edge is in line with that. That's all in position. I'm just going to get my pencil and just strike a line underneath, and then that gives us that line. So I know now I've got to cut that straight down, and that will give us exactly the same as this, so it will just splice in nicely to there, and then that is all the joist done on this little floor. Let's get it cut. The moment of truth. Right, now they're all done, all we need to do is get our perimeter noggins in. So our noggins in the webbing of the steel, this side and this side, and then get our centre noggins through. And that's it, we can start getting some temporary flooring down on this and get the G-deck set up ready for the brickers. Let's do it. Right guys, that is it. Another day is done. We smashed through it today. The guys from Blade Brickwork, as usual, absolutely smashed it. Concrete is coming tomorrow, so we've got all the footing ready for that. We've just got a little bit of shuttering to put at one end because we decided to raise the concrete slightly, and that's it. We've got through today. We've made a good dent in it. Tomorrow will be another day to make wicked progress. See you tomorrow. Today it's going to be another one of those days where we've got a lot of things going on. So concrete pour coming for the footings, so the guys from Blade Brickwork can carry on and get that wall sorted, which will be a very good job done. Ian's back, and today he's working on the wall downstairs, and then he's going to carry on in here getting this back up. We're going to be working upstairs, getting that loft hatch sorted, hopefully get some sort of tower up here so we can get into the loft and start getting all the rafters ready for this new roof. That is about it. I say about it, that's plenty to get on with, so carry on.
So the Blade Brickwork guys are absolutely smashing it. We're nearly halfway through the wall now, which means that we can start to get the last bit of footing poured and then get the wall finished totally.
Right guys, that is it. The concrete is poured. That is the final footing that we've got to pour. The only similar thing like concrete is the screed to do internally, and potentially a bit out here at a later date. But that's it now. We'll just leave this to go off, and then on Monday the brick is all finished out and they'll move on to this then. So this can all be retained, built back up, and then that's another job off the hit list. Love it.
So now the footing was done, the lads at Blade Brickwork could fully smash through it and get the rest of the wall done. Over the course of a week, they all got together and absolutely hammered this wall in, taking it a world away from the absolute death trap that was there, which hand on heart I feel a hell of a lot safer standing next to. Right, in the next episode, you're going to see some exciting updates from the property, and also you're going to see a lot of work going on the roof, which also means one thing: the main man Will is back. If you like this video, please give us a like, thumbs up, give us a comment if you've got any questions about this video, and if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe too. Take care guys, see you next time.